So I've got a few minutes. I'm not sure how well the audio is even going to take to this. But there's been somebody who's been commenting on my channel. They've commented on at least 2 of my videos. And honestly, that really inspired me. I didn't think anybody was watching. I've only posted 3 videos. I didn't think anybody would really listen other than my girlfriend, because, you know, she likes what's in my brain, but I don't know if other people will. And I don't know, I never thought that on a video with 7 views, someone would leave a comment, and they would leave such a good comment, and it really inspired me to continue. So I'm just door dashing right now. I'm in between jobs. It's not super consistent, because sometimes you take a DoorDash that literally, physically, until you arrive at their location, you don't know it's going to take you about 30 minutes to do the DoorDash. But it will, because you have to go into an apartment, you got to go find the person, you got to do all this extra shit, and then that hurts your reputation on DoorDash. So I'm trying to look into other type of gig work jobs that I could do, like Grubhub, like Instacart. I've been having trouble with Instacart. So I'm just driving around right now. I've noticed that I usually do these videos when I'm at a low point. I should roll up that window. I usually do these videos when I'm at a low point in terms of emotionally. I'm usually very honest with myself, but I've found that there's something good about actually getting it out. I was gonna say like too much. Getting it out, there's an extra quality that is added to. If I just had these thoughts in my mind, I would feel very sure of myself, and then I would kind of stop at a certain point, and I would go, yeah, that's the answer. But I've actually found that, it's the oldest fucking advice ever. Write it down, say it out loud, go tell somebody, right? That stuff does help. So this is, as kind of a journal for me, has been very positive. Sorry, I'm looking to see if I'm good to turn right now. It's been very positive, I think, and I do think I should also do it more often. The only thing is, it does take quite a bit of emotional effort for me to do it. As well as, I don't know how to, I'm doing this on my phone. I don't know how to really upload videos correctly. I'm doing it through an app, literally the first app that I can find. It's audio only right now, because the extra effort it would take to produce a video is just not worth it right now. But maybe in the future, if I really do seem to like doing this, I could increase the production value, which is part of my plan, but I haven't even really made it a consistent hobby yet, and I've been trying to. And this person, I should really have remembered their name. It meant so much to me what they said about me. It was all so positive. Every comment I've gotten 3 comments, every comment's been positive, and that's something that I want to do, that my girlfriend was telling me about, is I want to do questions and answers, right? I think that would be very helpful. I think that would, it would give me something to stay on track with, because my mind is I have ADHD, and sometimes my mind can jump like 7, it's literally like up to 5 to 7 topics in like that, where it's like, I'll associate something in my mind with something else. It'll be like Chihuahua, and then it'll be like Chihuahua, Mexico, cheese, Mexican cheese, Mexican peppers. Like it skips, and then now suddenly I'm on a different topic, right? Because I found something else that interests me. So I think if I had a topic or a question that I enjoyed, that I could continue to come back to and say, okay, the question was this, right? Then I think that that would help me in the production of these videos, or even not in the production, but in the quality of the videos, where I'm not so scatterbrained. I'm not so. I want to get better at this. I want to get better at a lot of things, but my main struggle right now is that I don't really know what I want to do with my life. Because how could you? You know, I've talked about that before. I've talked about my troubles with my job. I've talked about how I don't really feel any kind of satisfaction or reward from money or from going to a job and working for somebody else. I've always been treated poorly at my jobs by my managers. I've always been... My time doesn't even... honestly, this is a very extreme take, and I don't necessarily feel like this 24/7, but sometimes I really feel like it's slavery, where my time... all of my life I've been told by the wisest people that I know that money don't matter, fucking what you got don't matter, your time matters. You're only going to be here for a certain amount of days on this earth. Your heart is only going to beat a certain amount of times before it stops. And many people will die before they're old. You know, they'll just get hit by a car, they'll get cancer, they'll fucking go skydiving and the chute doesn't open. That one's kind of on you, but hey, it's gotta be, it's probably a fun last moment, right? If there's an afterlife and you get to make it, right? And you go, wow, man, I could have died of cancer rotting away in a hospital, and I got to fall out of the sky. I mean, if there's no moment after the last moment of life, then you're kind of fucked, because all you get is, oh shit, oh fuck, oh shit, right? But it's exciting, you know? You don't really get to have your affairs in order, though. If you have any regrets or anything, you can't tell people, hey, I'm sorry, or I loved you, so there is that. But I don't know. Overall, I think about death a lot recently, and not in necessarily a morbid way, not in a way where I'm like, I'm not trying to fear death, and I thought at one point that I was above death, like, oh, I'm not afraid of that, right? But everyone is afraid of death. That is part of the point of life. You can learn that from the animal kingdom. Every animal, the main feeling that they feel is fear. The fear of being eaten is the main feeling they feel most of the time. And yes, there are moments when they truly get to just have an experience of awe, right? Where they're just, I almost said an awful experience, but I mean like the classical awe, full of awe, right? Like, damn, I said like again. I was trying. As in, that you're gonna have these moments where you're just frolicking in a field, right? But then, anytime you come in contact with another animal, or most of the time, it's either eat or be eaten. Like, I need to eat this thing to survive, or is this thing going to try to eat me? So I'm about to come up on my delivery. I'm gonna do something I never did before, and I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna take another one, because that's how I'm doing it. I'm just taking videos on my phone right now, and I'm just putting it face down, because that's the easiest way for me to even get a black screen, because I don't, the app that I'm using doesn't just have a way that I can just put a black screen over the footage. So I'm gonna stop this video in just a second. I'm gonna take another one. A little behind the scenes peek for all y'all. And I'm going to take another one and I'm going to try to splice them together. And that will be an extra amount of effort that I have to take today to get this video done. Which, even just that is a lot for me to sign up for right now. Honestly. But I think I'm good enough to do it. God damn! You got me going down the dirt road? Why is this not paved? This is a road that seems like it should be paved. When I come back, I think I want to pivot from something that's more serious and a little bit depressing. I've been very depressed lately. I've been feeling very I'm a very realism. I'm an optimistic realist, where like I do think the world is mostly good, and dude, is this taking me the wrong? I do think the world is mostly good, and I do also believe that, sorry, this order's confusing me. You know, I'm gonna just pause it. I've been depressed because life is depressing. I'm not depressed because of extenuating circumstances. I'm not depressed because of my emotional state. I'm depressed because I'm in a hard time right now. And it's okay when things are hard for you to have the correct emotional response, right? But I'm also not trying to let that be my 24/7 attitude of depression, of shit is hard right now. I still need to have good times in my life. And it's just not easy right now. Oh my god. It's just not easy. The amount of things that have been happening recently are crazy. But when I gotta stop the video. When I come back, I'm gonna talk about Dungeons and Dragons, because that has been one of my passions recently, and I know the internet loves Dungeons and Dragons. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't been able to play, so let's get to something cool, motherfucker. Alright. I've noticed that my phone also gets hot while I'm doing these, which is not the best. Maybe I maybe need to find an app where I could record only audio and upload it. There's gotta be an app that's like made for podcasting that's free, right? Because that's essentially what I'm doing. This is basically just a podcast. It's a podcast, it's a journal, it's a soliloquy. Soliloquy is my favorite form of poem. I know I said I would be talking about Dungeons and Dragons, but again, I have ADHD brain, and soliloquy will, I believe, end up reaching Dungeons and Dragons. If it doesn't, I will force it to. Because my favorite thing about soliloquy is, first of all, I'm good at them. And I might be using that term wrong, because I'm not very learned. I'm intelligent, but I don't like academia at all. I had a very poor time in school. Soliloquy to me, yes, I like poetry. I like poems. I don't like reading them necessarily so much. But, and even when I'm doing them, I feel a little bit like, if I don't speak like how I'm speaking now, as I would to any common person, I start to feel like it's a little fake, right? Like things are why am I being fake right now? But when I do, and I don't like editing things for that same reason, which is, I mean editing text, because for me, the first time I write it is the only time I'm gonna write it. It's the correct time the first way. Like, I can't go back and add something to the experience. Yes, I can check for spelling errors, and yes, I can do little things like that. Like, ooh, I meant to write an A and I wrote an E. That stuff, I don't care about that. I'm talking about, I am never going to put in effort for something and then come back and change that effort. Right? Like, I'm just not gonna do that. That's not how my brain works. If I'm gonna come up with a story and write a story, I'm gonna come up with a story. And that's where soliloquy comes in, and that's where I think DnD also comes in. Which is, to me, soliloquy is just a string of thoughts as they are. And when you get into that flow state, especially when I'm writing, it's fairly easy to get into a flow state, because it takes me much longer to write than it does for me to have the thought. I can have the thoughts very quickly. I can speak the thoughts. I'm speaking right now without having any thoughts. I'm just speaking. So yes, occasionally there are thoughts that get interjected because I'm trying to keep my mind in a certain organization, because I'm doing a video right now, and I said I would talk about Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm reminding myself of that and things like that. But a lot of times the thoughts, the words are, the words that I'm speaking, it's the first time I'm hearing them as well as you. So sometimes you say something, you're like, alright, I gotta backpedal on that. But with soliloquy, especially when you're writing, I can get a little bit fancier with my word choice. I can get a little, once I hit that flow state, I just don't even have to worry about it anymore, and I could just let the feelings come out as they need to. And that's why I think I like Dungeons and Dragons too, because it allows me to get out my creativity that is so pent up, that is so overbearing and overwhelming to me sometimes, where it's like, yeah, I could do some woodworking, which would take me maybe an hour, right? Yeah, but just to get started, right? Just to start, have a rough draft takes an hour with woodworking, depending on what you're doing. I generally try to make smaller things because, again, less time. The amount of time, effort, and energy that has to be put into things as an adult is vast. It is very vast. And it's the same with D&D. It takes about at least an hour of work for about an hour of gameplay. Roughly. A lot of times your players will extend that. So like an hour's work can sometimes be 1.5 to 2 hours, right? And it really depends on if you plan a combat encounter, that combat is going to last way longer than most of the other stuff in the game, because now you've got turns, now you've got people are thinking about things, right? I've been playing D&D for I think 2 years now, and I started as a DM who had I didn't even know the rules. I was DMing before I even understood what I didn't know any of it. I just started. I was gifted the 2014 players, the player's handbook, the Dungeon Master's Guide, and the Monster Manual by a friend who I'm no longer friends with, which is a shame. But such is life. You could take a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, right? You could be friends with somebody for so long, but if they're a bad person, what can I do to help that situation, right? So I got these books, and I was like, my friend correctly assumed that this would be right up my alley. Sorry, I'm driving. I'm occasionally going to need to focus on that more than I am this video, which does lower the quality. I do understand that. I probably should put full focus to that. But I have stuff to do, and my life is very difficult right now, so I think I have to start multitasking. Well, if there is a hobby that I can do while I'm doing something else, I should be doing it, right? Especially because I don't like doing DoorDash. I feel like I'm losing when my time is wasted. I feel like I'm losing, and I don't know what I'm losing to. Maybe it's to myself. Like, I don't know what I'm losing to, but I feel like I'm losing. And I don't like having orders put on me. I don't like having authority put on me. I don't even just the authority of I have to make money for this amount of time can be very painful at times. Most of the time I can handle it. When I really think about what my time is worth on this world, I'm here in this fucking world, dude, and it's only one. Even if there's reincarnation, even if there's an afterlife, nobody will ever get to be the person that I am in my heart, in my spirit, ever again. Nobody. I'm having a unique experience for this lifetime, right? And that is so valuable to me. And it's hard for me to watch that go to something that is not progressing my life, that is not progressing things that I think are actually valuable, like spending time with my family, like being with myself and emotionally expanding myself, growing as a human. I don't feel like I'm doing any of that when I'm just working. None of that. It literally just feels like I could just take my brain, I could take it out of my body, I could put it on a fucking weight scale, and then 8 hours later, my body comes back and sticks my brain back in. It's awful. And here I am complaining about working. I'm supposed to be talking about D&D. It's a little hard, though, because I don't know exactly what I'm meant to be talking about. I assume anyone that's watching this video would know what D&D is, because I just assume that D&D is so powerful in the culture right now. It is to the point where moms and dads know what D&D is, and they've joined their children in playing D&D. And even if they haven't, they've seen the Legends of Vox Machina, and they've their kids have told them all about Critical Role and Dimension 20. You know what I'm saying? Like they've walked into the room and heard Brendan Lee Mulligan's voice. It's huge right now. It's bigger than it maybe has ever been. I think even in the 80s with the panic around it, right? So I just assume that, but I guess if I want to make a good video, I should really explain what D&D is. So D&D is, first of all, a role-playing game, but it's also a tabletop role-playing game. So role-playing game as in literally what your kids do. You just go outside and you say, this is a kitchen and we're gonna make a mud pie, right? It's just playing pretend, but it's playing pretend for adults, because just like the real world, there are rules to playing pretend, right? Yes, you can, if you want to pull, you can't have a bazooka in your pocket, I'm sorry, but you can have a sword in your pocket. We're playing a fantasy game. You can have a sword, and if you want to pull out your sword and you want to kill this villager, because, again, I'm just assuming, like, this is, when you hear make-believe, you think the lowest common denominator. What would your child do when they're playing make-believe? Well, they would pull out a sword and they would kill the first person they saw just to see if they could do it, right? You've seen children play GTA. Anyone who plays any game where they're given freedom, you have to see what happens when you kill the random citizens, and then you go back and you load to where it doesn't matter anymore, right? But D&D is playing pretend with rules, but on top of that, it also has fate. Oh, excuse me, I need to sneeze. Ooh, that sun is so bright. I think there's another sneeze in there, but I'm going to try my best. So D&D is literally just playing pretend. It's all made up, but there's rules to the made-upness, and there's also fate in the same way that there is fate in our real world. Where if I try to do something, yes, if I try to make a sandwich, I basically know that I'm going to be able to make that sandwich every time. But so you don't even have to roll for that. But that's where the dice comes in, is if the DM thinks there's any type of improbability, right? If you say, I'm going to take my sword and I'm going to throw it, and I'm going to try to hit that target, right? Whatever the target is, you're now going to have to make a dexterity check to see if your character is dexterous enough to do that, as well as the level of random fate. Even if you're a person who has no dexterity skills, right? You couldn't even flip a coin and catch it in your hands. But if you took that sword and you threw it, there is at least a 1% chance in your life that you would hit the target and stick that sword in, right? There's a 1% chance. There's always a chance, right? And that's why the game can feel so realistic, because, yeah, I can try. Just like in real life. I might fail, but I can try. Just like real life, there's rules. You can't just pull a bazooka out of your asshole. Where'd you get the bazooka from? Where'd you get the sword from to begin with? Okay, you went to the blacksmith and you bought it. There's continuity, right? And the continuity is very strict most of the time. Like, no, we're not just gonna. It's also a game. You want to be sportsmanlike. So everyone needs to be having fun. Which does not just mean appeasing everybody. Sometimes that does mean doing things harder. Sorry, I'm really trying to think about the best way to explain D&D now. It's make-believe on top of a rule system, and the rules can be changed at any time. That's part of it. Where I say it's make-believe, when you've DM'd for a while, you realize, oh, all of this shit is literally just, we're all just agreeing. Like, it could be whatever. It could be 7 ponies in a fucking, it could be anything. Whatever you want to make up. It could be anything. My girlfriend has been playing, she looked up a role-playing game where you play Jenga. It's more of a horror game, so your characters are in danger. And anytime your characters are in danger, they have to pull from the Jenga tower. And if they knock the Jenga tower over, they take an injury or they die. So it could be anything. It's just, you need something to represent chance, and you need some rules that everyone agrees upon so that you all are on the same page. Because that's the first problem that comes about if you're just playing pretend, is, okay, I do this. Well, actually, I have a slingshot, and I shoot you with my slingshot. Well, I have an AK, and I shoot you with my AK. Well, actually, I have a tank. And then you keep going until every time it becomes, I use 1 nuke, I use 2 nukes, I use infinity nukes, I use infinity plus 1 nukes, right? You can't just keep power scaling like that. So the rules, the rules, I can't even tell you the rules because they don't matter, right? What matters is that there are rules. The actual content of those rules don't matter until the pavement hits the road. Until your DM says, you need to make an attack roll. And then you go, I don't even know what that fucking means. And then the DM tells you, it's very simple. Almost everything in the game requires a d20. Almost everything. A 20-sided dice. Which means that basically chances are in increments of 5%. Which is that's a good noticeable. If you change a chance from 1% to 2%, you're not really going to notice. But if you change a chance from 10% to 15%, now maybe I'll be able to hit that. Maybe 10 to 20, dude. Yeah. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? That's when you can actually start noticing tangibly the chances are changing. And that's why the dice are the most important part of the game. Because it makes you feel like you're actually in real life. When someone says to you, I would like to try to flirt with the queen, right? And then your DM says, okay, you and me both know it's going to be very, very, very fucking difficult to flirt with this queen. And you go, I'm taking my chances because I know even if I fail, this is going to be funny. And if I don't fail, it will be so spectacular, right? And then you roll a d20 and you get a 13. And the DM says to you, the dungeon master, the person who's running the game, says to you, okay, you had to successfully flirt with her, you would have had to have rolled a 19 or a higher. And you go, wah, wah, right? But the DM does say to you, you rolled a 13. If you rolled under a 10, the queen would have called the guards for you to come take you away and put you in prison. And you go, holy shit, I didn't know I was putting myself into that much danger. But then the DM says, but you rolled a 13. So she laughs at your joke and she finds you amusing. Okay? You didn't totally fuck up. She doesn't hate you. She's not arresting you. And now you have a chance to continue and maybe do a quest for the queen. Maybe the queen has, her jester went missing and you need to go find that jester. Maybe there's some giants on the outskirts of town that are terrorizing the farmers and taking their cattle. Who knows? But that's the beauty of D&D. Is it can feel at times so realistic that it's like reading a book, where you can literally see it in your mind as it's happening. And not every time. Sometimes you're bored, and sometimes you would rather just play video games with your friends and watch Adventure Time. And we do. Like, you also need to take breaks frequently, because it takes effort to ask people to play pretend for multiple hours at a time, which D&D takes, I would say, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. I've done 8. I think we've done 6 to 8 hours before. Like, if it's just me and my two most, like, dedicated players, we've played for 6 hours easy before. Right? Like, for a long time we were playing 6-hour sessions. It's hard even just to get adults on where they can all be in the same place together, though. Like, literally. When everyone has jobs, it's like, what are even friends anymore? Like, I have family that I see every day, but what even are friends when everyone's working? Like, how do you even... What are the odds that everyone will have the same time off? Almost zero. I'll get 2 people. You can get 2 people to have the same time off. Maybe a few times a month. Maybe. What about 3? Okay, now maybe twice a month. What about 4 people? Okay, maybe once a month you'll all be lucky enough to have the same Saturday off. 5 people? Is that even possible? Like, without people requesting time off from work, which is a resource that is so, like, coveted. Time off from work. Which is what I was saying before, where it's like, I feel like a slave, where it's like, when am I allowed to not be making money? When am I allowed? Right? When am I allowed to have time where friends can come together and eat a meal and laugh and watch a show and play a game together? When can that happen? It's been a while. I've been doing one-on-one D&D sessions because it's the only way, really, where I can have that happen. But I really like D&D. I would love to be able to play more. I would love to. And part of the issue is, for me with D&D, is, maybe I could save that for another time. This has already been 30 minutes, and I'm kind of scatterbrained, and I need to splice these together and upload them into a video. So, and who knows, maybe I'll upload 2 videos in one day, right? Maybe I'll be able to. But one is already a lot of effort for me. I will be honest about that. Speaking like this doesn't require that much effort. In fact, it's right just now it was quite nice to be able to just speak. The editing the video together, even if it only takes 20 fucking minutes, literally life is so fucking difficult right now. Taking an extra 20 minutes of my time is a big ask. So, yeah, I think this is the end of the video. I will try to be more consistent because because when I uploaded my first few videos, my whole idea was nobody's going to watch until I've uploaded 100 videos. Like, nobody's even going to pay attention. But immediately, people paid attention, which really surprised me. So, I have to. Whereas before I was like, these videos are for me because nobody's listening, right? When I make music, it's for me because nobody's listening. The second that somebody starts listening, now I start to worry. Am I playing the right notes? Is this an enjoyable piece of music? Is this something that they would like to hear? I'm worried about their considerations. And now that's where I am, where I'm like, okay, I should think about the people who are watching this because somebody cares, and I should care about them. Which with music, does take away. I feel like I play so much better music when I'm playing for me, especially for an animal. If there's an animal that is clearly listening to my music, I feel dedicated to them because when else are they going to be able to hear music? Like, this is something sacred that I can give to them. As a human, you can go pop in a fucking record and listen to Led Zeppelin. Like, dude, like, when you could choose Led Zeppelin or you could choose my harmonica playing, like, I get that Led Zeppelin is the choice I get it, that Led Zeppelin is the choice to make. When you're an animal and you don't, this is something that you're lucky to be able to hear, I feel like it's my duty to them to give that to them. And I wish I could transfer that to humans, but we're so full of music. Life, like, if this was a couple hundred years ago, when people literally don't hear music that often, I would feel like I am doing a duty, a service to these people. And I think I might try to do 2 videos today because it felt good. And it helped me get through this time. And I want comments. If you've made it this far, please leave a comment. That's what from you, I don't care about likes. I don't care about subscribers. I don't even care about views. I would like a comment, a question that you have for me because my mind races. I am so full of thought. I am so full of consideration. I am so full of judgment and value and information, and I like learning new information, and I like researching, and I like building ideas, and I like building an idea, not just having an idea, not just, sometimes it can be fun. I love playing devil's advocate, and I love arguing, and I love trying to get to the bottom of things. So if you have a question, this episode was mostly, I tried to make it about Dungeons & Dragons, and I tried to go over just the very basics of it. If you have any questions about Dungeons & Dragons, or about life, about I've been doing a lot of meditation. I've been doing breath work. I've been doing some woodworking. I play music. Keep I keep nature. I like bugs. I like gardening. I like fish. I like biodiversity. I like nutrients. I have a very vast amount of interests. And if there's anything that you're interested in, I don't care if it's underwater welding, I don't care if it's gold mining, I don't care if it's fossils, or if it's fucking bird watching. Dude, there's been a kingfisher. Oh my god. I don't bird watch, but I've been able to identify more birds lately, and there's this one bird, it's a kingfisher, and I feel so grateful when I get to hear and see the kingfisher. It feels like a prayer has been answered. Like there is something spiritual is going on when I see a kingfisher. That is my favorite bird. I love that bird. So if there's anything that you're interested in that I haven't even listed, leave a comment. Tell me about it. Ask me a question about it. Ask me a question about my life. Ask me a question about your life. Ask me a question about anything. Ask me some advice. If you got a girlfriend, if you got a mom, I don't care. I need topics to keep my mind on, to try to make these videos more watchable. And I think that's one of the things I want to try to do. Now we're up to almost 40 minutes. That's because I said I was going to end the video 5 minutes ago. That's the thing that I want to try to do, is I want to try to make these videos more accessible. And one of the reasons why I want to do questions is I can title the video a question, right? How old is the universe, right? I can do a little research on that, or I can literally just go soliloquy off the top of my head about what I think about that. And then that can be the value of that video, is someone can go, oh, what about the age of the universe? And then they click on it, and then now there's something. Yes, it is a little clickbait, because I ain't no fucking scientist. I don't know why the age of the universe is what they say it is, but I think it's probably much older than anyone has any real grasp on, because we are so small. And to claim that we have all of the information now is so naive and so foolish. It's like a child telling you that they know how to be president. You know what I'm saying? Like, even as an adult, you are so naive to think you are wise enough and vast enough to control the free world. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you were actually a wise, smart person, you would understand that you are so small and so weak, that to assume that you had the power to do these things is naive of you. And that's not to say that you shouldn't act like you have no power, because we have more power now than we've ever had. But to claim things like, oh yeah, I figured out the universe. Oh, did you? Oh, did you? Wait till you die, motherfucker. Things are going to get so wacky, so strange, so fucking outlandish that your top is going to get blown right off. Your fucking cranium, your cranium will go poof, and smoke will come out, and your head will go, and it will make a train sound, whoop whoop, and then your head will spin 360 degrees, and you go, what? No way, that's how the universe works? I've got to stop talking now, because I'm going to keep going if I don't. And I think I am going to make a second video today, because I really do want to keep talking. So I'm going to give myself a break to calm down. I'm going to try to upload this video. I'm going to try to see if I can splice 2 videos together. I don't even know, the audio quality of this video could be all fucked up. I just had my phone sitting on my fucking dashboard, trying to record the darkness. Thank you for listening, truly. Thank you for giving me a place to put my voice. Amen, brother.